Alex Pereira weighed in at 110 kilograms today, or about 243 pounds. He also hinted recently that fight news is coming soon. Could heavyweight be on the table?
110. Não, acho que é camiseta, pô, parece. Caralho, 110. Então chama.
Alex Pereira is fat and out of shape, and it's only 2 months until the White House event, and fans are losing their mind. They're all like, oh my God, look at the state of Alex Pereira. And it's just before the White House event, which is the biggest event of all time. And of course, the biggest chance of Alex Pereira's career to become the first ever 3-weight division champion, which of course would be history making. He would be the first person to ever do that. So what is he doing? Is he out of shape? Is he taking this thing seriously? Let me just tell you something right now before we even get started. Everyone needs to shut the hell up. First of all, Alex Pereira fought at 180.
Hold on a second. Did you just hear that? Alex Pereira is fat and out of shape? Fans are losing their minds over his physique, especially with such a massive, history-making fight just around the corner. He's aiming to be the first ever 3-division champion in UFC history by moving to heavyweight. But let's be real, Pereira isn't just cutting weight, he's gaining it. The man is embarking on one of the most audacious challenges in combat sports, and his body is going to adapt. You can't expect the same shredded physique when you're bulking up for the literal heaviest division on the planet. This isn't about being out of shape. It's about preparation for an entirely new beast.
Of course, he's going to look a little bit heavier. He's going to be a little less ripped. The abs aren't going to be popping, okay? That's just science. What do you guys expect him to do? Put on, like, I don't know, 40 pounds of muscle and move up and be a real heavyweight? See, that's the problem. He can't do that. We can't go out there and take steroids. You can have all the protein powder you want in the world. But if you're training for a mixed martial arts fight and you're not taking steroids, you're going to have a real hard time putting on muscle because all the cardio...
Exactly. This is science, folks. When you're a professional athlete, especially in MMA, gaining significant muscle mass naturally, without performance-enhancing drugs, is incredibly difficult. You're not just lifting weights. You're doing grueling cardio, wrestling, sparring, all activities that burn calories and prevent the kind of muscle hypertrophy you see in pure bodybuilders. Pereira is moving up from light heavyweight to heavyweight, a 60-pound jump from his original middleweight. He's going to be heavier, of course, but expecting him to look like a ripped Adonis at 250 pounds while maintaining peak cardio for 5 rounds is just unrealistic. It shows a fundamental misunderstanding of the demands of this sport at elite levels.
Style training, the wrestling, the sparring, the hitting the pads, the running that you need to do for your conditioning, that all eats away at putting muscle on. The only weight that you're going to gain will be water weight or fat. And that's okay. But the problem is, when you put on a little bit of fat, you will get a little bit slower. Yes, you will be heavier. You'll probably absorb a shot a little better. And when you land your own punches, there'll be a bit more weight behind it. So you might, in fact, generate a little bit more power. But still, these are the pros and cons about moving up to heavyweight.
This is the physiological reality of the situation. All that intense conditioning training necessary for an MMA fight actively works against pure muscle gain. So, the weight Alex Pereira puts on will inevitably be a combination of water and some fat. While this might slightly compromise his speed, it offers clear advantages too. Increased mass can help him absorb heavy shots from true heavyweights better, and every punch he lands will carry more weight, potentially generating even more devastating power. It's a calculated trade-off. Pereira isn't trying to win a physique contest. He's adapting his body to survive and thrive against much larger, stronger opponents.
You know, he took it easy on him. He made a mistake, right? You can't do that. And what happened? He paused, he hesitated, maybe he had mercy, who knows? Only Yuri really knows that. And he got knocked out. He got sparked out. He got hit with a wicked left hook, hit the deck, and that punch could have killed him. Because anytime you take one to the jaw with that kind of force and intensity that's going to put you down like that, you never know what can happen. But that's the game that we play, that's the world that we're in, and that's how vicious this sport is. And that's why you can't take it easy on people. But anyway, Alex Pereira walking around now, probably about 245, 250 pounds. It's a far cry from the big old heavyweights, like a Tom Aspinall that weighs...
This clip, while discussing a different fighter, perfectly encapsulates the brutal reality of the sport that Alex Pereira is stepping further into with his heavyweight move. There's no room for hesitation or mercy at this level, especially against opponents who can literally end your night or even your career with one clean shot. When you're facing athletes like Gane, the margin for error shrinks to nothing. Pereira, already known for his devastating power, now has to contend with a new breed of power and size. This isn't just another fight, it's a test of his resolve, his instincts, and his ability to be absolutely ruthless in the octagon.
When you've got an extra bit of weight on you, if Pereira puts on about 40 pounds, something like that, that means he's operating inside the octagon with essentially a 40-pound backpack on. Yeah, sure enough, it's spread evenly all over the body, but even still, it is going to slow you down and it is going to tax the cardiovascular system. But that doesn't mean Alex Pereira can't land that big shot, okay? It doesn't mean that he can't knock out Gane, but I don't think that he would be the type of guy to go out there and beat Gane over 5 rounds in a kickboxing matchup. Remember, you got to remember, this is an important one. Gane was looking really good against Tom Aspinall. Gane was looking really good against Francis Ngannou.
The 40-pound backpack analogy is spot on. Imagine fighting a grueling 5-round war with an extra 40 pounds strapped to you. It significantly impacts your cardiovascular endurance and overall speed. While Pereira's power is legendary, sustaining that output against a mobile, seasoned heavyweight like Gane is a monumental challenge. Gane's ability to move, his defensive footwork, and his evasiveness are all factors that can exploit any cardio deficiencies. Pereira's best path to victory might indeed be landing that one big shot early, because trying to outpoint Gane over a prolonged kickboxing match when carrying that extra weight is an incredibly tall order.
A man that hits so hard. And remember, he forced Francis Ngannou to kind of turn into, not a wrestler, but he had to start taking him down.
Like, oh, you're a wrestler now. You're a wrestler.
He took him down, he got on top, and he wrestled him to a decision victory. Just like John Jones. John Jones has got the highest IQ in the game. What did he do? Took down Gane. Pereira isn't going to be looking for takedowns. This fight plays out on the feet. That's why we are going to absolutely love it. That's why it's on the White House. And if Pereira gets it done, he'll be the first man.
This historical context is vital. Gane has faced elite strikers and powerful wrestlers, forcing even Francis Ngannou and John Jones to resort to grappling to beat him. This tells you everything about Gane's striking defense and his ability to weather a storm on the feet. Pereira, known almost exclusively for his striking, is unlikely to suddenly become a wrestling threat. This means the fight will predominantly play out in Pereira's domain, on the feet. But Gane is a master technician there. For Pereira to win, he has to find a way to land that kill shot against someone who has expertly avoided it from the sport's most dangerous heavyweights. It's a striking chess match for the ages.
I mean, 185 to 205, that's a 20-pound jump, which is insane, especially when you consider that in boxing, most of the weight classes go up by like 3 pounds, something like that. 185 to 205, that's the craziest jump, okay? That's 20 pounds. That's what I had to do. I went the opposite way, from 205 to 185. I'm telling you, I was walking around sometimes like the skinniest bastard you ever saw in your life.
Just got to suck on an orange, have an espresso to give me a little bit of energy, and then put the sweatsuit on and go for a walk in the sun. I'll look like an absolute weirdo walking through the centre of Sydney in a sweatsuit in the beautiful sunshine. But
now the next jump is 205 to 265 pounds.
The sheer scale of these weight jumps can't be overstated. Going from 185 pounds to 205, and now potentially to 265 pounds, represents an astronomical physical transformation within a relatively short period. Most boxing weight classes are separated by mere pounds, highlighting how extreme Pereira's journey is. This isn't just about gaining weight. It's about recalibrating his entire fighting system, his speed, power, endurance, and defense for bodies 60 to 80 pounds heavier than his original weight class. His personal anecdote about cutting weight to 185 pounds underscores the brutal physical toll. Pereira is doing the inverse, stepping into uncharted territory with unprecedented ambition.